I think we good. Man, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in each and every Wednesday and every Sunday at 10:30 to Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I am your host, Ashley Lovechild, and thank y'all for tuning and tapping into episode 211. Again, it means the world to me that y'all give y'all support. It helps the show to grow. And I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in each and every episode. I see we got the what they call the loyal crew in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. We got the loyal crew in the business in the building. Appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Let's get the show started. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. The presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button. That's the hyphenated sign in the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign in the word snaps.com. Appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping. And shout out to the chat, as always, showing major love. Also, what else we got going on? We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers, so continue to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week. You just never know what I will outside of the days of the live. So it's also fun to have this access. Also tap into the membership portion of the page. Different memberships does get granted different access, so take advantage of it right now. We also got some events coming up. I will fill y'all in on Sunday's episode. We just needed a little extra information before I give that detailed information. Some new music is on the way. For those who've been patiently waiting, some new music is definitely on the way. I'm just finding new avenues to get the music to you instead of the traditional style of what we've been doing. Um, and it's because of the new updates with all the different outlets. It's not beneficial to artists, so just be on the lookout for that. But if you haven't access to music platforms, just type in Ashley Lovechild and all my music will pop up. All right, Charlie, yo, let's get started, man. Yo, it's been such a good day. I hope y'all got that great energy. I'm a ball of energy. We're going to talk about everything. If this is your first time tuning and tapping in, whether it's entertainment, sports, whether it's social commentary, we have a good time. Show love. Do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Somebody that stands out for being negative. Stand out for showing light, love, and energy. And the only op we recognize over here is opportunity. So appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Shout out to the chat. We got the chat in the building. We got day ones and we got badge holders in the building already in the chat, man. Appreciate the chat for tuning and tapping in. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shout out to Winter in the building. First comment of the night. You beat me to it. So y'all fighting for first comments of the night. That's what's up. I like that little that challenge. That's what's up. Shout out to Culture in the building. Y'all funny in the chat. Shout out to King all day. You already know we in here. Shout out to Winter. We the loyal crew. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Shout out to Winter in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Mount Vernon in the building. BK all day by Tremont. Shout out to Hazel. You already know what to do, Hazel. Appreciate Hazel for tuning and tapping in. Love the pod. And Ashley. Appreciate that. A shout out to Ebony in the building. Just made it. Hey, chat. Hey, Ash. Oh, man. Appreciate y'all for showing that major love. New York City's already looking different. New mayor. Cap. LOL. Yeah, y'all over there trolling with the new mayor already. Yeah. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. New York City with this new mayor. All right. So already people was mad at me for what I said last episode. I said I don't know enough about him to say whether he's going to do a good job or not. I don't know enough about his politics. I know the things that he wants to do. Does he have the juice to execute? Will he have the support to execute? New York City is always optimistic when a new candidate is elected into office. Let's see what he's going to do with the opportunity. I just feel like it's too early and we don't know enough. That's just me personally. If I'm not mistaken, the new mayor, Zoran, I believe he's like 35 to, he's like either 35 or 38. So he does not have an extensive time period in his position. So again, we won't know. So people was mad at me saying that. People called me a negative person on social media just by saying that, and I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, I'm negative because I'm stating the obvious. Like that's just weird. So at the end of the day, give this man a chance. He might do a great job, or he might stink it up worse. But I'll tell you one thing: the bar is set very low because Mayor Adams, he didn't do a great job. He left the office very infamous, if I must say. So hey, we got to give that man a chance to implement his policy. Do I believe from the things that I know about him, will it work? I don't know. I'm skeptical, so we'll see. But that doesn't make me negative. I'm just going based on what I see. So, all right, y'all. Let's start the show. You already know. Stay engaged into the chat. Show that love to the chat. Hit them likes. Hit them likes. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. Hit the 100s. Hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. And again, we appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. All right, y'all. You already know. First segment of the night. Popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records, as you see it right there. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. All right, y'all. First segment of the night. You already know it's popular opinion. You already know these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right, y'all. All in their prime. NFL question. All in their prime. Which NFL quarterback is your franchise? All in their prime. Which NFL quarterback is your franchise? Number 1, Peyton Manning. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 4, Joe Montana. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the question is, all in their prime. Which NFL quarterback is your franchise? Again, number 1, Peyton Manning. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 4, Joe Montana. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that. All these are great quarterbacks. Obviously, this is refined air when it comes to quarterbacking in the NFL. None of these answers is wrong for real. I mean, it's just a according of preference in my regard. It's just preference based. But shout out to Let It Go in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, my guy. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. So there's no wrong answer within this group right here. All are worthy. Me personally, I think Peyton Manning is a great player. He's a great player, Hall of Famer, easily. One of the best to ever do it in the league. Won't argue that. Tom Brady. I'm a Michigan fan, so you know how I feel about Tom Brady off rip, right? I don't think I need to say much after that. It's a lot of bias on Tom Brady in my estimation. Joe Montana, bro, like, I'm not going to hold you. Like, Joe Montana was excellent. He was excellent. If we're talking about just quarterbacking and the way that he plays, I probably would say Joe Montana to lead my franchise. But I have to go with my squad. Y'all see the hat in the back. Been a fan since I was a child, ever since we was trash. Ever since we had Joe Montana. Matter of fact, before we got Joe Montana, we was trash. So y'all know I'm going with Patrick Mahomes on this. I love all these guys as quarterbacks, as players, pause. Great for the game, but I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. Got that arm. He could run. He could scoot. He's not a runner, but he can scoot. He will hurt you. And Patrick Mahomes at his best is just remarkable to me. So I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. In the chat, again, I said shout out to Let It Go. Appreciate you tapping in. King P, Vic in the building, Dope in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, my guy. Again, don't forget that them likes hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. So most of all, I'm seeing a mix. Honestly, I'm seeing Peyton Manning. I'm seeing Joe Montana. I'm seeing a mix. It's a quarterback before 3. Somebody said 4, so they said Joe Montana. Let It Go said Roethlisberger, bro. He should have been on this list. Nah, but Ben Roethlisberger was good. He was good. Hall of Famer? Yes, definitely a Hall of Famer. On this list, in the top 4, who are you taking out to put Ben Roethlisberger on? You can't take none of these guys out to put Ben Roethlisberger on here. But then again, it's not my list. It's the world's list. Again, this is not my list. It's the world's list. But you're not taking any of these guys to put Ben Roethlisberger on here. You're not doing that. Well, football is preference based. You probably would prefer that style of quarterback. But he is a great quarterback. He's really, really, really good. Great. I give him great. Hall of Famer, yes. He's not Eli Manning. To me, Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. Hey, from Brooklyn, New York, he's not a Hall of Famer, y'all. Good. Eli was mediocre, but Ben Roethlisberger was head and shoulders better than Eli Manning. So, but I don't have Ben Roethlisberger in the air of Joe Montana, Brady, Manning, Mahomes. I don't have them there. Shout out to Ike in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. You already know the rules. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Drew Brees. Nah. Drew Brees is a good quarterback, though. He's a good quarterback. Hall of Famer? Yes. Yes, for sure. For sure. But you're not taking none of these guys out to put in Drew Brees. You're not, and it's not even my list. But you're not taking any of these guys out to put Drew Brees. Like even somebody that would be on my list is Steve Young, but you're not taking. Me personally, I'd rather have Steve Young than Peyton Manning, mainly because Steve Young could also run. I don't like statues as my quarterbacks like that for real. I love Tom Brady, but the reason why Tom Brady work as a statue is because he get rid of that ball quick. He get it. Peyton Manning gets rid of the ball quick, and he do know how to manipulate the pocket. So but Peyton Manning is great. Like that's like not Joe Montana. Peyton Manning, Brady, and Dan Marino is great at manipulating the pocket without no type of. You don't want them to break the pocket anyway. It's like, yo, chill, bro. Just stand back there and let them protect you. But they get rid of the ball fast. But Drew Brees is great, but I'm not putting him in that air. Vic, they said Vic, Michael Vick, Troy Aikman. See, Michael Vick is interesting. Like, I'm a big Michael Vick fan. Been a Michael Vick fan ever since Virginia Tech. I even have a Virginia Tech Michael Vick jersey since like 2003. Yes. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not into DA, but I had an ex-girlfriend that wanted to play all the games, and she threw on my Michael Vick jersey, and I say, yo, whatever you do, take that jersey off nice and slow. I'm not into the DA. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me have to. You feel me? Like, I don't want to do that. I ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into the DAs. I don't do that. So take the jersey off, please. Big Michael Vick fan, but I wouldn't put him in this group. At Michael Vick's best, Michael Vick is definitely an MVP in the league. Um, but I wouldn't put him in this space. He's a better runner than all these guys. He probably has one of the stronger arms out of this group, but you know, he wasn't the passer all the time or throughout his career that he was or that he developed to in Philly. Warren Moon is great. Great. You crazy? Warren Moon is great. Shout out to Stray in the building. Love the chain. Appreciate that. Dope. Big mismatch. It was another quarterback that I had mentioned too, Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was fire, but he's he's a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't put him with Peyton and these guys. Brett Favre, another great player. You know, I still wouldn't put him up there with those guys. I like Aaron Rodgers more than Brett Favre. Brett Brett Favre don't respect the football at all. He gonna throw that thing all across the yard. Picks, all right. So hey, throw picks around here sometime, baby. Nah, I'm one of them coaches. You get too friendly with the picks, I get rid of you. Shout out to Vic. Vic, you trolling now. You trolling. You talking about Ryan Leaf. You trolling now. Definitely not no Ryan Leaf. Hell no. Definitely not no Ryan Leaf. If he could read defense. Y'all funny. Shout out to Super Nee in the building. I like to purchase some of your. Okay. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit them 100s. I try to give you the benefit of the doubt. Super Nee. So y'all have mentioned Drew. Yeah. So again, all these quarterbacks are great. Again, the question is, all in their prime, which NFL quarterback is your franchise? Again, number 1 was Peyton Manning. Number 2 was Patrick Mahomes. Number 3 was Tom Brady. Number 4 was Joe Montana. The chat, it was mixed up. I seen Joe Montana, I seen Peyton, and I also seen Tom Brady. Me personally, I went with Patrick Mahomes. The rest of the world at 39%. That goes to show how close this poll was. Pause. At 39%, mind you, over 45,000 people voted on this, went with Tom Brady. Again, I'm not mad. Any of these names you can't be mad at for real. Like, you could say any of these names because these are the names that are in rarefied air of quarterbacking in the NFL that we've ever seen in the history. So I'm not going to get mad at anybody for saying any of these. I'm going with my guy Patrick Mahomes. Some people are like, yo, how you going to go with Patrick Mahomes if he don't got the most Super Bowls? Yeah, it's a combination. He got Super Bowls, pause. He played great, strong arm. He leads his team. He doesn't necessarily have a top tier receiver. He only had a top tier receiver for 1 Super Bowl for 1 year to keep it all the way real with you. But the second year they went, that our offensive line was decimated when we lost to Tampa Bay. So that kind of was like not even an even playing field. But it is what it is. But I'm going with my guy Patrick Mahomes. So that's my answer. But the rest of the world again went with Tom Brady at 39%. Again, for y'all, don't forget that them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Making sure you ain't fall asleep. Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana. I said Montana. Yeah, it said Montoya. It's all good, you know. Players mess up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did mention Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers is in refined air because of quarterbacking, right? Everything that you think a top tier quarterback is, Aaron Rodgers does. But do you prefer his leadership? Right? Do you prefer the mental capacity day in, day out to leading your team and and dealing with the inks. Do you want a guy in the off season to go on tour with his band? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you get what I'm saying. So it's all preference based when it comes to quarterbacking. So uh, dope, Peyton Manning for sure. 100%. Fire, fire, fire. Now that's a fact. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. And remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. Which is the best determining factor of you getting the job? Which is the best determining factor of you getting the job? Number one, your current ex. Number two, work bay. Number three, first love. Number four, sneaky link. Let me know what you think about that in the chat. Yo, this is a wild question. Again, the question is, which is the best determining factor of getting the job? Number one, your current ex. Number two, work bay. Number three, first love. Number four, sneaky link. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. That's absolutely funny. Me personally, I'm gonna have to say sneaky link. Cause that's the whole purpose of a sneaky link, right? You doing your dilly dallies, and you know what I'm saying? It's like nobody's supposed to know. So I think that would probably be like my biggest determining factor. And if I was to try to get a job in the corporate sense, y'all get what I'm saying. I definitely would say sneaky links. Sneaky links have always been like, a plus for your boy Ash. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say sneaky link. I'm in the chat. I'm seeing work bay all in the chat. That's funny. I'm seeing work bay all in the chat. Ebony went with work bay. Ike Love went with work bay. That's funny, y'all. Y'all stupid. Now, my first love is interesting because you would think that your very first love know your heart and know how you would want to put things together on a job. But your first love, you kind of outgrow them, right? So I can understand that as well. And your current ex, that probably is like World War III. That's probably beef on site. Some people could be friends after a breakup. I know I can, but some people don't have the ability to operate like that. So, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And I don't count, and I have to make this disclaimer because I have made mention of this prior before. I'm not talking about, when I say my ex, I don't talk about women that are sneaky links, work babe. I don't consider them exes. An ex is somebody that you are like boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all building a life with, or y'all, married or engaged. That's an ex. Somebody that you just smashing or a situation, that ain't no damn ex. It ain't getting included in that. So I don't want none of my ex situationships. It'd be up like, oh word, you was a situation. You wasn't an ex, chill. So so in the chat, I mostly see work bay. I'm seeing work bay all in the chat. I went with sneaky link. The rest of the world at 43%. Mind you, over 8,000 people voted on this. Went with sneaky link. They went with sneaky link at 43%. I'm surprised it wasn't work bay. But that's pretty interesting. That's pretty funny as well. Shout out to the chat. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Needs to Ask Us. Y'all already know why I came up with this segment, because Hollywood just don't give us enough interesting movies, stuff that we really want to see. We spoke about it last episode in a different segment, and I said I had to bring it back because it was a topic amongst the chat. My Hollywood Need to Ask Us. I would love to see a Prince biopic. Now, I did speak about this prior to in my former format, very early in the show's inception, probably like the 28th episode. but it was a different format. So we spoke about how Prince is deserving of a biopic because we spoke about the Michael Jackson biopic and how crazy that's, the views is getting, the praise, people are looking forward to seeing this movie. And I think Prince is very underappreciated. But I also made mention is that Michael Jackson is and was beloved. Michael Jackson is probably still the only artist to sell a million or 10 million, I believe a billion records after he passed. Michael Jackson still sold. People still buy vinyls of Michael Jackson albums. People still buy CDs of Michael Jackson albums, and we live in the streaming era. People would download those Michael Jackson albums even when they got the vinyl in the house, which is crazy. And the reason why I say Prince is not beloved, he's only loved by the people because of the music. You have to be a music fan to love Prince. I didn't say you had to be a music fan to know Prince. You have to be a music fan to love Prince. But Prince is not beloved by everyone is because how he went about his business. He challenged the corporate structure. He was one of those artists that say, yeah, nah, baby, if my album costs $15, it doesn't make sense why I only make $5 on this album. And y'all telling me $5 per album like this is Gucci. That don't make sense to me. So because of that, he switched his name from Prince to being an artist formerly known as. And then fighting for his music and having it taken down off not social media, but off the streaming platforms and the fight for that music. He wouldn't even do music with artists and collaborations if the artists didn't own their masters and didn't own their music sake. So that's why Prince wasn't beloved like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a different type of boss. He just had the catalog. He would just buy your junk. Michael Jackson closed down labels because he would buy the catalog. But he didn't, even though he did it differently, he wasn't outwardly speaking on changing and enlightening other artists on their business. Michael Jackson did his business quietly. Prince said it loudly, like, yo, this don't make sense. He went on publication shows, Oprah shows, and other shows, big shows at their height to say, yeah, this is not right. Jay Leno show. So Prince is not beloved. He's only loved by people that love music. But again, I would love to see a Hollywood need to ask us. I would love to see a Prince biopic. Of course, this has to be rated R. Obviously, it's a biopic. The actors I would have in this movie would be Patina Miller, Damon Wayans. I would have Damon Wayans in this movie. Curtis Cook. If y'all don't know Curtis Cook, look him up. Curtis Cook. I would have Burgundy Baker in this movie. I would have Hallie Kilgore in this movie. That girl could act and she could sing. Vocals is crazy. Like, she got the type of vocals I fall in love with. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. Baby girl can sing. Coco Jones. Justice Smith. I will have Justice Smith actually playing Prince. And he also kind of resembled Prince as well. I will also have Harazine Garala. I probably said her last name wrong. I apologize. But you probably know them two from the show called The Get Down. And I will also have Michael DiLorenzo and Tamila Mann, a great vocalist, great actress. So that would be my foundational cast for a Prince biopic, which I think would absolutely be fire. I need somebody that's going to direct this to a whole nother level. I love the Temptations movie, TV, series, or whatever how they classify it. It's a movie, but it was a great movie, and the way they depicted that particular film, I think will go great with Prince discography and how they would have his movie on and off the stage. And I would use the director, Alan Arkush. I would have the producer of this movie, I would say music director of this movie would be Beyonce, because Beyonce has enough juice, power, influence to make sure that all the music that we want to hear is in this movie. And last but not least, my producer of this movie would be Spike Lee. I think Spike Lee adds a different type of authenticity, a different type of experience of being somebody who was a fan and then being a peer and being somebody that gave knowledge to Prince when it came to filming, because you realize Prince not only did albums, but he also acted. Prince funded his own movies, the Cherry Moon, Purple Rain, uh, the Graffiti in the Bridge, if I'm not mistaken. So Prince had quite a few movies, black and white movies that were great movies, concept based, that would make this movie excellent. And I feel like I picked some great actors. It has to be rated R. You know, we gotta see to see it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta see that energy, and we gotta relive those great songs and music. So that will be my Hollywood Need to Ask Us a Prince biopic with that going on. A shout out to the chat. Don't forget that them likes, hit the 100s in the chat. That helps with the growth of the show. A shout out to Malu in the building. What's up, Malu? Got Malu in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. As always, hi, Ashley. Appreciate you for tapping in. Shout out to Matt in the building. Okay, he's trying to be a stain. Shout out to Mr. Arab in the building. That new MJ biopic is a mockery. I'm gonna wait to see it. I'm on one end, I'm not enthused to see the new Michael Jackson film, because the American Dream was chef's kiss on the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson. But again, because it is Michael Jackson, I gotta see it. I have to see. I just have to see it. I have to see it. But I'm not trying to diss the sister. When you go from Angela Bassett to playing mom to Nia Long, and Nia Long she's alright as an actress, but she's no Angela Bassett. That just lets me know what I'm in for. So I'm a reserve judgment, but I feel you. Prince is my legend. Matt, Smush Bro, Tyler Perry can't do a movie about Prince. Yeah, nah. You know what I'm saying? Nah. We're gonna sit Tyler out on this one. We could probably use Tyler Perry Studios, but we're gonna sit him out on this one. We don't need any of the BET wigs on this one. Shout out to Malu, Mr. You're 100% right, but 1, 2 made it, but the one made it good though. One made it and one made it good though. Matt, a white boy needs to play Prince. No, he doesn't. Prince is a brother. I told you who would play Prince. Justice Smith. Look him up. If y'all don't know who I'm talking about, look up Justice Smith. He resembles Prince. He resembles him. Like, and they kind of got like the same, you know, like body physique or whatever. Was it like real petite? I don't like calling a man petite, but he's there's like slim and there's lean, and some guys is petite, which is crazy. But he's a small guy. He's a small guy. He's not a big guy at all. Pause. But you know, but he would be perfect. He can act. He could perform. He would be perfect. Matt Y. It shouldn't be a white man playing Prince, but someone with light skin, not white. Exactly. Purple Rain is a forever banger. Is a fact. Yes. Purple Rain, the movie and the song, popping. You look familiar. Absolutely 100%. Are you Marcus Houston from the show Sister Sister? No, that's my cousin. Shout out to Mr. Bird Dog in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100 to help with the growth of the show. Shout out to Chris. Give the man, give it the man a like, guys. That's a fact, man. You know what I'm saying? Cost you nothing. Cost you nothing. Yep. Like the live 100% hype them up. Yeah. Appreciate that, Malo. You already, me and Malo be locked in, man. Shout out to Malo, man. Shout out to Malu. But yeah, so that would be my Prince biopic movie. Hollywood need to ask us. This would be perfect in my opinion. And I think people would uh, go out and see this, especially with the cast, my director, my producer, and music director. This would be absolute fire. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Our must see. I know I'm gonna give y'all 3 fire must see movies each and every episode, and tonight is gonna be no different. Shout out to who's that? Shout out to Reteo in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. We got Brazil in the building. Shout out to I am John. Let it go, bro. Uh, the last comment, I don't. It's in Spanish. I don't read Spanish. So if you could put that in translation, I don't know. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna give y'all some 3 must-see fire movies, absolute day ones to go see. Obviously these came out already, but I'm pretty sure y'all ain't never heard of these. All right, so first movie up came out 2001, directed by Michael Kristoff. This movie stars Angelina Jolie, Antonio Banderas, Thomas Jane, James Haven, Jack Thompson, and Gregory Eisen. This movie is called Original Sin. This movie is popping. This movie is popping. First 20 minutes, I'm like, yo, what is going on here? Super duper popping. It's about a man who meets a woman for the first time, and they are set to be married. And you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you, so make sure y'all tap in to see Original Sin. Second must-see movie came out 2014, directed by Stephen Tolkien. This movie stars Whoopi Goldberg, Mekhi Phifer, Ving Rhames, Kimberly Elise, Tashina Arnold, Anika Noe Rose. This movie is called A Day Late and a Dollar Short. Fire movie. Fire movie. This movie is about a grown family. Everybody's adults, obviously, brothers and sisters, mom and dad. And they all going through their own trials and tribulations of life. And you have to watch the rest of the movie. It's an ensemble cast, and it's greatly act, and it's a must-see movie. So make sure y'all tap in to see the rest of that. Third and final must-see movie came out 1998, directed by Volker Skonsdorf. This movie stars Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Shue, Chloe Sevigny, Gina Gershon, Michael Rappaport, Peter Paul DeLeo, and Tom Wright. Another fire must-see movie. This movie is called Palomito. Fire movie about a man who was wrongly convicted for 2 years, gets out of jail, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. Again, I won't spoil it for you, so make sure you tap in to see Palomito. So my 3 must-see movies again is Original Sin, A Day Late, a Dollar Short, and Palomito. So make sure y'all go tap and to see those fire must-see movies. Shout out to Ebony. I would love to see this. You're probably talking about the Prince. Shout out to Donald in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Big D from VA sub. Appreciate you for tapping in. Malu, we're gonna keep the chat in English. That's a fact. Appreciate that, Malu. I'm about to make you a mod. If you up to being a mod tonight, I'll make you a mod tonight if you want to. Oscar, appreciate you for tapping in. Hello from North Korea. We got North Korea in the building. That's what's up. Yeah, so make sure y'all tap into these must-see movies. These are fire must-see movies. Shout out to Let Go. You look like one of those crisscross kids. Appreciate that. Hit the likes, hit the 100s. I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke, so I don't know. If you got jokes, Let me know. Cause I got jokes. Let me know. I hate you. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Sign me up. All right, cool. I'm gonna make you a mod tonight. I'm gonna make you a mod. Hold on. So I got Malu as one of my moderators tonight. Very trustworthy. Very trustworthy. If Rowan Jack is in the building, I definitely would make him a mod if he's up to it as well. See, Oscar, you wild. Shout out to Paul in the building. Shout out to Paul. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Y'all know I'm gonna give y'all a fire artist to tap into, whether it's hip hop or R&B, whether it's new or old. I'm gonna give y'all some fire music to tap into. So my profile artist tonight is the legendary artist CeCe Peniston. She doesn't get her flowers. This woman could sing and she got fire music. So put these 3 songs on your playlist. Number 1, Crazy Love. Fire song, dope vibe. Put that on your playlist. Number 2, We Got a Love Thing. Fire, legendary song on a whole nother level. And third, final must-have song on your playlist by CeCe Peniston is Hit by Love. So put those songs on your playlist. Fire songs. I'm telling y'all, it feeds the soul when you hear great music. So make sure y'all put CeCe Peniston on your playlist. Number 1, Crazy Love. Number 2, We Got a Love Thing. And number 3, Hit by Love. Make sure you put those 3 on your playlist. Shout out to, who is that? I missed what they said. Shout out to, I missed that. I don't know why I missed that one. Shout out to, oh, they got, okay, cool. See, Malu she on business. I love it. She on, Malu, when y'all think I'm playing, Malu on business. Y'all better come correct. Y'all better come correct. She ain't playing. For real. Appreciate that. Or you can press the 3 little dots, the top corner screen. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God, Malu, you are popping. Thank you. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. You know, I'm gonna give y'all a great book to tap into. This book is called Beyond the Shiny Object. Again, it's called Beyond the Shiny Object. This book is by Jeffrey Schaefer. I'm sorry, Jeffrey Scherer. Ooh, Scherer. A PhD. Again, the book is by Jeffrey Scherer, PhD, and again, it's called Beyond the Shiny Object. This is a great book to read to basically see the bigger purpose in the things that you're going through in life. And we go through this muck and mire every single day. And sometimes we kind of forget why we're going through it and what's the end game and what's the goal. This is a great book to give you center and foundation. Again, it's called Beyond the Shiny Object. So make sure y'all tap into the book. It's a great book to read. All right, y'all, moving on. Y'all already know what time it is. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Y'all already know the rules in the chat. Type in T to send them to Turkey. Type it in not to send them to Turkey. Reason being, people say the wildest, do the wildest, and we got to send them to Turkey. Turkey got some of the craziest laws that we ever had, so we send them to Turkey over here. First one of the night. Shout out to Paul in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. I think dude was saying you look like Marcus Houston. Yeah, Marcus Houston wasn't in Crisscross. I don't think he wasn't in Crisscross. You know what I'm saying? But I hear the sentiment. I've heard that all my life. But, you know, shout out to my cousin Marcus. Oh, Paul White and Ashley Edson is his cousin. You feel me? You feel me, Milo? You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't. She already got it. I ain't even gotta say nothing. She already got it. All right, y'all. First one of the night. Send them to Turkey or not. Again, type in T to send them to Turkey. Type it in not to send them to Turkey. Foul or not foul? Well, send them to Turkey or send them not to Turkey. So, foul or not foul? Former castmate William Lee aka Bullethead, from the show The Steve Harvey Show, says that former castmate Merlin Santana, who was also known as Romeo, was on steroids. Was that foul or not foul? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, type in T to send him to Turkey for making that statement, or type in N not to type in N not to send him to Turkey for making that statement. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, being that they was castmates for so long, being that they was close, he do tell a story that they had a situation where they had a real altercation, and that altercation had led them to being much closer off the air and off screen and off the show. Some truths is not necessarily ours to tell when it's not our story. But I think in this aspect, it's not foul. It's not foul. And I think mainly because if you've seen Merlin Santana, he was always a slim guy. Because Merlin Santana been acting since he was a little kid. And he was always a slim guy. But on the Steve Harvey Show, you've seen he kind of like bulked up after like, season 3. Was it his own truth to tell? I would say it was, only because it involved the story that he was telling, that he became a bit physically imposing. I don't think it was shade to it, and because the type of context he gave to it, based, revolving around the steroid use that he took, I don't think it was necessarily foul, in my opinion. So I'm not going to send him to Turkey on that regard. In the chat, I'm seeing sending him to Turkey. Truth is truth, but kinda tea. So this kinda sending him to Turkey. You confuse me with what now? Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Paul. Paul said no, I'm not gonna send him to Turkey. Yeah, I'm agreeing with y'all and some of y'all in the chat. I'm not gonna send him to Turkey because again he gave context to it. Again, the context was basically there was a situation that was going on set that the actor known as Bullethead didn't like, and they ended up with an altercation, and Merlin Santana ended up getting the best of him, and Steve Harvey ended up trying to piece them up, in which they did, and which they later on became much closer. So I can't say foul because he wasn't saying it in the essence of throwing mud and trying to disrespect his memory. I think this type of information doesn't disrespect Merlin Santana's memory. So, by the way, the jacket is fire. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the Kobe on the back of this right here. You know what I'm saying? That's old Mamba. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, though. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Again, it helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox was asked, what would she do different in her younger years in the beginning of her career? Hold on, I probably have that question wrong. She was asked, what would she do different in her younger years? Yes, in her career. And her answer was to tell her younger self not to date 50 Cent or rappers. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we going to send her to Turkey for making that statement? Or nah, we send her to Turkey we type in T, or you not sending her to Turkey for making that statement? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Girl, just get over it. Yes, how's like she lives 100%. If you don't know how to, just double tap the screen. Oh, okay, yeah, 3. Yeah. Okay, so Malu got me. Yes, Malu got me. Yes. So I'm agreeing with the chat. It's like, yo, get over it. Like, they was together back in the early 2000s. How can a question that revolves around you, that centers you on what would you do differently in the beginning of your career or your younger self, and your answer is to not mess with 50 Cent, somebody who moved on, mind, like, we got to keep this in perspective. This is when 50 Cent like really broke out. 50 Cent came out in like the 90s, but he broke out early 2000s. This is like Get Rich or Die Trying. That had to be like 03, 04. So they was messing around with each other around that time. We in 2025. 2025. So out of all these years, he was the biggest misnomer, mind you. Vivica A. Fox been acting way before she met 50. I remember Vivica A. Fox, and I'm probably telling my age on this. I remember when BET first started doing network television, where they started doing shows that was dedicated towards us as the culture, right? And one of these shows was called Out All Night. Great show. It was a comedy show. You had Patti LaBelle. You had Morris Chestnut, Dwayne Martin, and you have Vivica A. Fox playing the daughter of Patti LaBelle. I remember her from then. So out of all the things you done went through in this industry, being a woman, being a sister on top of that, and with the talent that she has, I know she done went through some major hurdles because she got some major victories. Anytime you got major victories in the industry like acting or the acting industry, you done had some major hurdles. And you say 50 Cent is the one, is like, what type of hurt that still lingered? Then she later to say that she can now laugh about it. If somebody's asking you a genuine question, that's what pops into your mind, that X from 20 years ago. That's wild. That's wild. I agree with the chat. I agree with the chat. At the end of the day, you got to get over that, mama. You got to get over that. Shout out to the chat, man. And I'm taking the stuff back too. So you're not sending her to Turkey, but you say, all right, that's Paul. That's Paul's opinion on that. Shout out to Richard. I'm sorry. Shout out to Richard. Irrelevant. Richard is old enough to have his old channel join 100% on it. Facts. I love Patti LaBelle. She is so sweet. Justin, he is born a male. He is straight old school hip hop culture. Yeah, so at the end of the day, Vivica Fox, let's not mistake it. She's a shining star. She's been a shining star. She's been a great actress all through her career. This taints your image in another way, boo. Ma'am. I can't call it boo, like that sounds crazy, ma'am. This taints your image, ma'am. The reason why I said boo, because it was some love that came behind that. But it taints your image, man. It taints your image. Don't let the pettiness, I'm missing a word right now, but this just seems so reckless to say that. Even if it's a joke, that's the first thing that pops into your mind, which is crazy. And it comes off as bitter. Comes off very bitter. So at the end of the day, I just think it's wild for her to say that. I'm sending her to Turkey based on that response and comment, because again, she's a shining star, been a shining star. I know she has some real feats in this industry, but I know she has some major setbacks. And instead of shedding light on that, this is what she says. Sounds crazy in my opinion. Trained her image. I'm sorry about that 100%. Tainted her image. I'm sorry about that 100%. That's a fact. That's a fact, Malu. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. It comes off super bitter. 50 Cent that went on. You don't hear 50 Cent even mentioning Vivica Fox. And 50 Cent, he a Cancer like me. We could be a little petty. You know what I'm saying? We petty Pendergrass. We ain't nobody gonna show you a better petty than a Cancer, a motivated Cancer. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them problems. You know what I'm saying? So no other man wanted you since the early 2000s. Early 2000s, Vivica was fine. Ain't no other man wanted you outside of 50. I'm just saying, like, it just comes off as very bitter. Uh, that's her. That's her way of still attaching herself to him, and maybe he'll respond. It could be a tactic. Very, very astute. Very astute. Uh, Shout out to Ups. Speak in Hindu. I appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit the 100s. Stupid. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Question. Do cuffing season still exist, y'all? That's a real question. Because if it did, cuffing season has officially started. If it did, the weather done dropped. I live in Florida. We get nice weather all year round. Unless you are in the northern parts of Florida. If you in Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Orlando, we get a nice little cold front for a couple of months or so. You don't feel it dropped a little bit. So with that being said, if cuffing season is still a thing, I'm saying it started. For y'all out there in the chat, do cuffing season still exist? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Hey, Mama Short. Shout out to India in the building. Hit them likes, India. Hit them likes. It helps with the growth of the show. We appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so me personally, when the weather drop for real, people start getting real choosy on who they want to get with in the wintertime. They get real choosy because you don't want to hang it up for the wintertime with the wrong person, right? You want to have good energy. A lot of people celebrate the holidays. You want to bring in the holidays with the right person to have that great energy. And let's keep it real. You want to be cuffed up with somebody that bedroom time. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Cuffing season is designated for the best hitter. Real talk. For the guys, it's the woman that know how to get in the studio. You know, I'm speaking around it. You know what I'm saying? She know how to get in the studio. You know what I'm saying? She know how to exercise, do aerobics. You know what I'm saying? One of those. And for the ladies, I'm guessing a man gotta, you feel me? Pound town. You know what I'm saying? He gotta know what he doing down there. You know what I'm saying? So cuffing season is a real thing. People get real choosy. And I think it still exists, but because I think it still exists, some people may feel like it's old school. We talked about it on the show previously before that asking somebody out on a date is considered old school. So is cuffing season, is that considered old school, or is that just a low-key thing that people just do when the temperature just dropped? But in my estimation, it definitely still exists in my estimation. He was looking anger. What is his problem? To me, it depends on the generation. Shout out to Stat. Appreciate you for tapping in. She's a super woman. Not yeah, she more than a superwoman, all right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna hold you. Cuffing season is a good time, especially when you have the right person to You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's thoughtful, somebody that their love language is a little touch, acts of service, right? And that loves to get it popping. It's nothing worse than going into cuffing season with somebody that's not appreciative of the physical being. You know what I'm saying? So that's not somebody you trying to cuff. You know what I'm saying? That's a that's a flag on the plate. You cutting that person out quick. She was a superwoman. Shout out to user in the building, cuffing season. It is a fact. So again, I still believe cuffing season still exists. And if it did start, it started. Well, if it is still a thing, it started because the weather just dropped. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A former NBA player, Sebastian Telfair, reveals he moved back to the projects. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, former NBA player reveals. I'm sorry, former NBA player Sebastian Telfair reveals that he has moved back into the projects. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I'm not sure because I know Sebastian Telfair grew up in Coley Island and CI. I know his story a little bit because we was in high school together around the same time, or if the same time. I probably got Sebastian by a year, if I'm not mistaken. I probably got him by a year. He went to Lincoln. If anybody know the story of Lincoln basketball in Brooklyn, they have a rich history of great basketball players. Me personally, I went to Fort Hamilton, played at Fort Hamilton. I played both sports, football and basketball. Football was my first sport. Basketball was my second sport. But my basketball coach he was weird. If you was great in football, he let us play basketball, but he didn't let us like go crazy. We was like under minutes restriction because he believed that every kid should have a chance to shine, right? Whatever. And it didn't matter how good you was. Like we had guys that was dunking, throwing alleys. Matter of fact, shout out to my boy Terry Lassane. His brother played for Lincoln, and his brother was super nice. And Terry was super nice, but because Terry was good at football, he didn't let us get our stuff off in basketball. But anyway, Sebastian Telfair, I played against him in high school. I remember when he came to Fort Hamilton, I had to be a senior. He had to be a junior. He lit us up. I'm not even gonna hold you. He lit us up. Elijah Clark, he played with Elijah Clark. Elijah Clark was 6'7", silky smooth two guard. Also was nice. This is pretty sad on how he went out. Well, that's one way to look at it, I should say. It has to be a mind F to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire, and have been one since you're 18. And now you're basically 40 years old. You put all that work, time, and energy, not just into your playing days, but also into your retirement, that you lose it all and have to move back to the place that was your motivation to move out of. And now coming back with more. You're coming back with more accolades. You're coming back with more feats. You're coming back with children. You're coming back with more on your plate. And that has to be a mind F. But it could also be used as a great motivational tool moving forward. Because he does have name, because he played in the NBA, this may open up doors that only God can see. This may open up doors that somebody else may need him more than just him being somewhere and living super lavish and having all types of money. God may have placed him, even with his own bad decisions, even that he has to face his own self-accountability. Even with that, this could be a blessing in disguise for the next kid to go through Lincoln. Because they come through each era. Lincoln is very rich in basketball history. If y'all know the history of Lincoln basketball, it's rich in history. I'm talking about my favorite player ever in the NBA, Stephon Marbury. We're talking about Lance Stevenson. We're talking about Sebastian Telfair. We're talking about Elijah Clark. I remember they had a couple other guys that was older than Sebastian that went to St. John's, and these guys was like 6'6". I think it was King. I think it was one of the King nephews or cousins. He was nice too. So there's a rich history at Lincoln. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise when he's able to go back to the neighborhood, give wisdom, give experience to the next one out, and he may get an opportunity to coach somewhere. It could just open up many doors. He could be a consultant. He could do all types of multitude of things based on his experience. You can't tell me that an NBA player, whether he's a star or not, plays in the NBA for the many amount of years that he's played for, amount of teams that he's played for, his experience is not valued on a high school in a NBA or college ranks. Can't tell me that. So I think he's in a space where he could change his life, not in the way that he saw, but in a way God seen. But at this point in time, I know it has to be a mind F. When you go from driving Bentleys, living in the mansion, being able to do whatever you want to do at its whim, having people to treat you a certain way when you have prestige. NFL, NBA players, they get treated with the utmost prestige. Athletes get treated differently with a lot of prestige. You get looked up to as an athlete, a lot of prestige. And now you add money on top of that. So now you have power and prestige. And the fall from grace, nobody could write that story but God if he's able to use it in the right way, in the proper mindset. So I know it had to be a mind F from going from that to going back to where it all started. So, but shout out to Sebastian Telfair. He was undoubtedly a high school legend. He got drafted from high school, if I'm not mistaken, to the Portland Trail Blazers. Great player in high school. Like I said, I played against that Lincoln squad. He put up 50 against us. You know, I came off the bench. I had a bad knee. I still gave Lincoln like a solid 15. And as soon as I got hot, coach took me out. And I ain't gonna hold y'all. I told y'all before in the chat, I was kind of a head case. And I spazzed out on my high school coach because I had 15 and he took me out. And 15 in high school is 15 in high school. But yo, I'm on pace here, baby. It ain't nothing but the second quarter, baby. Like what you doing? And I had a bad knee on top of that. So I was, you know what I'm saying? I was ready to go, you know? So, but shout out to Sebastian Telfair, man. Again, it's got to be tough, but he could get himself out this situation. There's no way that you experience all of that and it's not valued somewhere else. Just got to wait his turn and prepare for his opportunity. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. That helps with the growth of the show. Shada in the building. Shout out to you. I only say that because nobody helped him manage his money. He helped spend it but not invest it. I missed the first one. He had too many demons around him. Ashley, but he needs to mini bag. He needs many to make up what he fulfilled. That all that. Okay. Cheese. I'm already knowing you got mad cake, son. Your mouth. Okay. Shout out, you right. Cheese. Leave, please, mom. My God. But at the end of the day, looking at the comments regarding Sebastian Telfair, when you're young, people always say, get some good people around you. Get some good people around you. When you're 18, 19 years old, you don't know what that look like. You don't know what that look like in the business sense. You know your mom, you know your dad, If you have older siblings, you know your older siblings, you know what you think is genuine love, but money changed people like that too. Money does change mom. Money does change dad. Money does change your older siblings. No matter how much they say, oh, money ain't gonna change a thing, baby. You put $50,000 cash in somebody's hand, you just never know what they're liable to do about it, whether it's for or against you. So it's very hard to choose the right people when you're that young. It's hard to see the future and realize you're not going to get this money always and forever. You're not going to do that. So it's very easy to say, and you got to put yourself in his shoes. If you're 18, 19 years old, and you made $10 million back in the 2000s era, I believe that was what, 2003 draft, maybe 2004 draft for Sebastian Telfair, or maybe 2005. It was either 2004 or 2005. So imagine being 18, 19 years old and having that type of money. That is forever money in most estimations, right? But when you live in the lifestyle, again, you have a house in California just because you like to go to California outside of the current city that you live in. If you lived in somewhere like Portland, which he got drafted to Portland, you're going to get you a other house. You probably get you a LA house or a Vegas house. You probably get you an Atlanta house. You probably get you a Florida house. Portland is not somewhere you vacation for real, right? So, and of course, making better financial decisions. But again, being that young, you don't know what it looked like yet. So, but definitely, he definitely had to help a lot of people. But when you're in position, you have to ask yourself this question. Because people always say this, and it's always the people who's never in position. If I had it, I would give it to you. But the thing is, you never have it. You never in position. So we have to be very careful and when we get into position and how we delegate. Because I said this last episode. You could help somebody, but it's not up to you to help your friends and family. You do what you can, but it's not up to you to save them, because ultimately they don't want what you give them. They want what you have. You constantly gonna have people counting your money. Oh, he got 5 million. He only gave me 10,000. Like, what's up with that? So, I agree, but at that age, it's very hard to figure out who's good and who's not. Also, shout out to brother in the building. Appreciate you. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. You're a weirdo, but appreciate you for tapping in. All right, y'all, moving on to the next one. Shout out to Patrick Torres, my dude. What's up, my dude? Appreciate that. Fire jacket you wearing. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that. Got Patrick Torres, one of our day ones in the building. You already know how we do, Pat. This is big fan. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A viral video of a San Francisco train driver falling asleep at the wheel, screaming passengers falling on the floor as the cart accelerates, and it damn near hits a car. She had to swerve the lane of the train. So this particular train is outside, and she's driving the train and falls asleep. And when she falls asleep, the train speeds up. Passengers is falling in the back. And now when she wakes up, there's a car coming straight ahead, and she had to swerve out the track in itself to avoid hitting the car. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. That's wild. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to what's the subject. Appreciate you for tapping in. That's that jacket Cole. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. I'm gonna look up his real name. Whose real name? My real name? I'll tell you my real name. Like, but why do you, are you the feds? My real name is Ashley, sir. That's my real name. That's my birth name. Don't play with my name. I don't play with my name. You probably don't play with your, I don't know. You got a different name up here. You got a different name up here. I don't know. I don't play with my name. My name is my name. You know what I'm saying? No, Batman. Oh, okay. Like everybody be talking about my cousin. Y'all talking about my cousin Marcus Houston. Everybody be talking about my cousin. Very true, and clearly he didn't have anyone who had good intentions for him. Yeah, so you talking about Sebastian. Yeah, facts. When you that young, when you 18, 19, 20, I'll make it easier. If you 25 and younger for real in any industry, whether it's music, sports, entertainment, acting, any big industry, you will get taken advantage on the financial end. You don't know. You know what you know. And you learn as you go along. That's a fact. That is a fact. I agree with that hands down. Like, for shout out to Mr. Tense. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Shout out to Patrick. Yo, I saw that video. It was crazy. I told my wife maybe that train operator has a second job, but we agree that she can't be putting people's life in danger that by sleeping. That's a fact. That's a fact, Patrick. That's a fact. Oh no, somebody better be fired. That's a fact. To be nice. Don't resemble Ashley with. Yo, I love Malo. Malo, I love you. You out there doing the Lord's work right now. I love you. You know what I'm saying? Love you. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down. My name is Shaka. Nice to meet you. All right, if that's your real name, appreciate to meet you, brother. Appreciate to meet you. If you true to the soil, appreciate meeting you. If that's genuine, I appreciate meeting you as well, my brother. For real. For real. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to Bogut in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. You seen Diddy jail pick. He looks old. Yeah, I mean, Diddy's old, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you live long enough, you're gonna get gray hairs, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get gray hairs. It's a part of the game. He not out of jail. He don't got access to that Beijing. You know what I'm saying? He can't take the trip. So it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Let him rock the grays. Well, he gonna get jiggy in jail? You know what I'm saying? He gonna be a prison 10? Like, nah. But let him be a jailhouse 1. You know what I'm saying? Jail is not the place where, you know, he telling dudes to take that. You know what I'm saying? He not trying to stand out for his looks like that. You know what I'm saying? Let him get past the Beijing. He cool off the Beijing. Shout out to brother. Appreciate that. Thank you for the gifted, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. That's big love. That's big love. Shout out to brother, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, brother. L Dirty. We got shout out to Wilmer in the building. Mr. Tis, cause Diddy is far away from the baby oil. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold y'all. If this is your first time watching, because of P. Diddy, I call like massage oil, baby oil. I call that Diddy oil. I don't call that baby oil anymore. I use my Diddy oil differently though. I use it for hetero practices, if y'all get what I'm saying. I'm trying to be nice with what I'm saying. Hetero practices. But I still call every oil Diddy oil. Y'all don't believe me? Y'all think I'm playing. Diddy oil. The take that edition. It's a hoot when the women see this. It's a hoot. But I'm telling you, I call all oil Diddy oil. Y'all thought I was playing. He done took oil to a whole nother level. I'm kind of mad that P. Diddy hasn't dropped the bad boy baby oil. If he like real talk, like let's keep it a buck. Like keep it a buck. If Diddy dropped bad boy baby oil, You mean to tell me that's not going to be the hottest thing selling on the shelves? Especially if you a dude and you engage in heterosexual activities. I'm just saying. And plus, it's funny. Fellas, the best way to get at a woman, make her laugh. You know what I'm saying? You pull out the Diddy oil to take that, she's going to laugh. She's going to laugh. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Ladies like a man with a great sense of humor, yo. Just saying. Take that. You feel me? So, now that's a fact. But they say you don't got access to none of that. So we were talking about, so the video that went viral of the lady from San Francisco, the train driver, like how y'all said in the train, like y'all said in the chat, she overextended herself to fall asleep at the wheel. Like that's a city job, and you have other people's lives in the palm of your hand, in the palm of your hands. Obviously, if she would have stayed asleep, if they would have crashed, lives would have been lost. Y'all could be right. She could have a second job or a third job that she overextended herself. But this is a mistake that can't happen again, yo. This is a mistake that needs to be a deterrent. Now, should she lose her job? She has to be reassigned at the very least. She can no longer, she has to earn her privileges to drive trains again. But then again, like real talk, let's say something like this happens and she goes through the protocol and the process to get back to driving the trains again and being able to conduct or whatever the case may be. And this happens again. And now the company is going to be liable. Like, yo, this person has a history of doing this. But, yo, we had to let her go through the protocols and she did it with flying colors. So it's like, do you fire her or do you reroute her position completely? Like, yeah, nah, we going to keep you off them trains. We like come sweep the bathrooms or something. You keep a job, but you're not going to be driving these trains anymore. Because you got people's lives in the balance of your hands. Now, if somebody was to lose their life, you know their families are suing. You know they're going to hold these companies liable. So me personally, I'm firing her. The nicer side of me is like, nah, you could reroute her for her doing some custodial work or something like that. But if I'm the owner of the trains, of that particular train company, she is gone with the quickness. Now, don't pack none of your stuff. Nah, we'll send that to your crib. Don't pack nothing. Can't touch nothing. You can't even come in here to get a damn pretzel bag out the vending machine. Take your ass home. That's a fact. That's just me personally. Because again, when you holding people's lives in the palm of your hand, which she does, that's a big responsibility. You cannot fall asleep at that wheel. I'll allow you to listen to some sort of music where it's loud enough to keep you up, but not loud enough to keep your senses on, on and stuff like that. But yeah, we can't have that. So that's my decision on that matter. She got 2 jobs. She was working a double shift. Shout out to Fanboy in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. You already know helps with the growth of the show. My guy Fanboy. AI will probably take those train jobs in the near future. Now, I hope not. Again, people still need to work. You feel what I'm saying? But damn, you can't mess up like that. That's a big mess up. That's a big mess up. A big mess up. I hate to say yes, but she put lives at risk. That's a fact. That's a fact. And again, some people have a heart for the job aspect of it, but when you really think about it, if that was your family member or that was you on that damn train, you like, come on, bruh. But safety comes first. That's a fact, Malu. That is a fact. They probably are going to drug test her first. I mean, the drug testing, honestly, will probably be just a formality whether they want to press charges or not. If they do drug tester, that gives you a clear understanding that they may press charges. But the damage is the damage. You falling asleep. The damage is the damage. Bay Area in the building. You already know, man. We already know. Shout out to the Bay Area. Bay Area, I got mad love for the Bay Area. Every time the one time I've been to the Bay Area, it showed me love. The one time I've been there one time. It's expensive as hell in San Francisco, but they showed me love though. Fam of the Bay Area, yup, going. It should cost him millions in lawsuits. I blame Trump for her having 2 jobs. It's hard out here in these streets. Patrick, you spoke to a point that I had mentioned episodes ago about the state of the economy. Our parents and our grandparents lived in the economy when they worked, it benefited the household where they could work one job and be able to pay all their bills off the one job by itself. They also had enough time to bring their ass home, spend time with their family, go on a vacation 2 times a year, and be able to retire. We need to get back to those times. I don't believe in all these things or where they talk about the cost of living going up because we outsource everything, which is a factor, which is why more of a factor why we need to put the money back into our own country. So I agree with you on that. I don't necessarily blame Trump for people having 2 jobs, but I blame the system that was there before Donald Trump got in, because people have been working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. I know somebody that works 2 jobs just to stay broke. How that sound? They work 2 jobs just to stay broke. They work 2 jobs just to say like, yo, I still got $100 to pay on a bill, which is crazy. And that's why when they talked about them damn tariffs and they said they was giving people $8,000 a pop, I was like, yo, this is about to change the economy for real, especially if they keep the cost of living the way it is, or they take it back to where it was before, or lower than what it was before. But now, since then they said 5,000. Now they talking about 2,000. So it's like, yo, just give the people the bread. Like, people gonna be happy with it regardless. Shout out to Turbo in the building. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes at the 100. McDonald's, All American. That's a fact. Fact, 70% of Americans live paycheck to check. It's sad how we live. That is a fact. There was a study done. If you have 5,000 and more in your bank account, you're 80% richer than the rest of the country in America, which is wild. That lets me know that people are working to stay broke. If you don't work, you're not able to pay your bills or just to be broke, which is crazy. So you're always constantly behind. It's a rat race. That's why they call it a rat race. You have to really bust your ass just to be broke, which is crazy. And Donald Trump does have he has some capacity to help change it, but it all starts locally. It's the local taxes first. If you change those local laws, as you can see, living in Florida, we don't get jiggy with the rest of the world, how they move. Florida, we move at our own pace, baby. You see what I'm saying? So it's really from state to state. Patrick, yep, nothing is okay about that part. That's a fact. I agree, though. I still agree regarding that. Don't buy what you don't need. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's like, don't buy something knowing your ass can't afford it. You just want it, right? But is that really human nature? Is that really human nature, though? You know what I'm saying? You're going to get something that you just want. You know, like, We all do that. We only live once, you know. But again, in the era before us, with our parents and grandparents, they was able to do all types of shit with one job, and they didn't work no crazy big job. They worked the average job, and they was able to pay bills. They was able to buy a house. They was able to buy cars. They was able to send the kids to college, making 40, 50,000 a year. They was able to do that. So there's no reason why our economy just keeps ballooning up the way that it is. I remember at a point in time, an NBA player getting like a $4 million contract a year was like, yo, you get 4 mil a year, bro? Like, that's crazy. That now 4 million a year in the NBA is like, so you don't play. Oh, you know how much? 4 million? Oh, all right, yeah. So you on the team, which is a big deal. Being on the NBA team is a big deal. But you don't play, you making 4 mil. 4 mil. You know, when you're a great player in the NBA, these guys are making 45 million a year. So I remember a time when 4 mil a year was like, yo, he paid. So we got to get back to that. We got to get back to lower cost of living. Just man up and get a $30 million contract. Shout out to Ajax. He said just man up and get a $30 million contract. Man, I would love to be a millionaire myself. I would love that. But me being a millionaire would probably look different from what other people do. Me personally, it will look different. It will look different. It will look different because I understand the value of money. I understand the value of building. You know, I have, you know, businesses as well. So my goal is to be a millionaire one day. That's my goal. That's my absolute goal. Whether it's through music, podcasting, or a great opportunity, that is the goal, to make $1 million one day. That is a fact. And I'm talking about in a given year, to make that type of money in a given year, for sure. For sure. I got such a passion for podcasting. As an artist, you know, I've done great things in my career as far as accolades and making money and things like that, but never achieved being a millionaire. Never. But I still live my dream. I live in my dream home. I have a nice car. I can do some things. You know, I live pretty good, man. Live pretty good. But millionaire, I would love to be that one day. Love to be that one day. Just give me 1 mil. I'll buy all my stuff from the Dollar Tree and make it last. No, you're not. No, you're not. You just saying that, V. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm telling you, it's different when you get that cash in your hand. You like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And money don't change you, for real. It just makes you more the person that you already are. So if you like buying from the $1.99 store, you gonna go to the $1.99 store with a different type of confidence. You just gonna buy more of it. You know what I'm saying? But your taste will change, you know, accordingly. But money changes the people around you more so than you. It changes people's perception of you. They start counting your money, and they start begging. So that's for sure. They sell frozen steaks at the Dollar Tree. Ajax, you stupid. It all started where they started sending jobs overseas for cheap labor. I think it's beef. Could be cat. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I know for sure that I done had plenty of rat or cat or dog. For sure. For sure. That's one of the reasons why I don't eat Chinese food no more. I haven't had Chinese food in probably a decade. I don't eat Chinese food anymore. No. Because when you go to the Chinese stores in Brooklyn, there's no way you ask for deep fried meat like that, chicken, deep fried chicken, and it tastes that savory, and it's like real good. Like when something is like deep fried, it's kind of hard to eat. It's like perfect with the Chinese food. When you do that at home, that meat be a little tough. You know what I'm saying? It be a little, when you want it fried, that meat be extra tough. Like it got muscles. You know what I'm saying? and be like, yeah, that's a different type of meat, dog. Pause. Could have been pigeon, could have been squirrel. But I know for a fact, in Brooklyn, yeah, I definitely had some rat patties, some squirrel sausages or something in them chicken wings, cause it I used to get that General Toss chicken. Used to be finger licking good. Used to be finger licking good. Them spare rib tips, money. Let me try to make that on my own at home. The meat extra tough and hard. Like, yeah, what the Chinese store be making, this is different. Theirs is different. So I know for a fact I done had me, couple that. You know what I mean? And there's a documentary called Rats, and it documents places in India, New York City, places in Asia on how they prepare meals with the rats. There's a place in India where they worship the rats. Like it's a rat church. Like you walk up into the church, into the temple, and there's nothing but rats. And people walking past the rats, feeding the rats, to the rats, all that. People drinking the rats got a fruit bowl, a milk bowl, and people walking past the milk bowl like and drinking that. And the rats just in it just drinking all the milk. There's a documentary on that. Then in other places in India where they hire people at night to go catch rats. And you know what they give them? They give them the sack of potato bag and a stick. And if in order for them to get paid, they have to catch at least 45 rats that night. And they just out there with the chicletas and the stick, bro. And when they see the rat, they so cold with the rats. They got a stick, not no super predator stick. They got a regular old stick, and they out there looking at the rat, pop it on the head. One dude picked up the rat and stretched his neck like that. I'm like, oh, he a different type of gangster. It's a person I would never fight. I would never fight a man that kills rats with his bare hands and then go eat his meal without washing his hands. I would never fight a dude like that. And I could fight. I grew up boxing. I could fight. You got it, bro. You got it. That's not somebody I want no type of strife with at all. They catching rats, and they have to catch 45 of these mugs every night just to get paid. And they go home, they ain't washing their hands. They go right through the door, kiss their wife, rub her all down, like with rat hands and all. That's crazy. Crazy. So, but it's a good watch, though. It's a good watch. It's called Rats. It's probably up on YouTube and Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. It's a great watch. Y'all should tap into it. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A quick shout out to Malo High Nichols Wick to the live. Rat catchers, the untouchable, and the trash piles. Shout out to Ajax, Turbo, 100%. Y'all throwing up in the chat because I said that about the guys with the rat. I'm telling you, them dudes with the rats, them dudes that had to catch the rats. Some of them dudes was out there catching them with their bare hands. The dude picked up the rat like, ha! Can you imagine picking up a New York City rat? I think not. Picked him up with his bare hands, and did like this with his neck. I'm like, yeah, that's somebody I don't want no strife with, kid. You got it. And then the other dudes just killing them with the stick, just right on the head. Damn. So again, you had one place that was the rat temple, and you had other places that caught all these big ass rats, and that's how they had to get paid. And on top of that, a part of the qualifications, you got to be able to carry the bag. Like they test if you're strong enough to carry the bag. And if you can't carry the bag, you can't work there. That's crazy. Rats creep me out. I'm not a rat dude myself. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I don't love New York City. It's more rats in New York City than it is people. Literally. You could literally be in the street having a conversation and a rat will just run across your foot with no regard. No regard, like you wasn't standing there. Rats are not afraid of people in New York City. They come up on the train track. They get up on the train. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm dead serious. The rats are so strong in New York City, they take their food and bring it all the way down to the train station to eat in peace. Y'all think I'm playing when I say that? Rats is different in New York City. They different. There'll be no cuffing time, that's for sure. They used to people. In New York City, they are. They are. That's a fact. They are. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Question. Could you deal with somebody or a love interest? Well, somebody is the love interest. Could you deal with a love interest that supersedes their past influence over your current influence that you're building in that relationship? So could you basically deal with somebody, and when y'all going through some things, the things that they learned in previous relationships, they bring to the current relationship, and that supersedes the current relationship? Could you build with somebody like that? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. The rats eat birds in New York City. They big as fuck. That's very true. That's very true. The rats do eat pigeons in New York City. That's very true. That's very true. The only thing that eats rats in New York City possibly is squirrels. Is squirrels, for sure. If the squirrel is bigger, the rats stay out the way if the squirrels are bigger. But rats definitely eat pigeons in New York City. That's for sure. That's for sure. But again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Could you deal with somebody that supersede their past influence into your current relationship? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Malu. No, I couldn't. I would leave so quick. That person would think I was just a fantasy 100%. I agree with you. I get we all have a past, right? And honestly, I think it's positive to take the positive things from said past and put it into the new space if it's warranted. But it's not copy and paste, because every person is different. Ladies, every man is different. As a man, I already know every woman is different. So I can't necessarily use the same thing on you that I did with her. And also, because our connection is different, I can't allow what I received from my past relationship to supersede what's going on in the current relationship. That's toxic as fuck. So at the end of the day, we have to be careful on how we delegate what we learn. Like, for example, I was dealing with somebody and I was telling them something about a business. And they was like, oh, no, that's not how it works. And I'm like, that's not how it works. I know that's how it works. Verbatim. Because that's what I did and do all the time. How many times you did it? She never do it. So again, her bad information is what she received from a previous relationship, right? And that made me wonder. I was like, I can't build with her. I can't build with her because there's nothing that I can tell her that she takes face value. And mind you, I don't gain nothing from telling you this, but I'm telling you this because it's something that I know. So it's just not a me thing. This is like a general thing for everyone. You telling somebody something that you know, and they telling you something based on what they feel or secondhand information. But oddly enough, the person that gave them the information would get that information from somebody like you that has the real information, which is oddly enough, but they're arguing bad information, right? So in my mind, I cannot build with somebody like that, just off principle. Because the things that I have to tell you, it doesn't make me better because I already know. I'm telling you to make you better. And I don't make no money by telling you this. I'm telling you this because we in the same space. We trying to build something. If I can't put you on to this and it's a back and forth, then we can't build. So That's more so in the general sense in all things. The things you learn in your previous relationship, when it's positive, that's something you can apply later on if it applies in certain situations, but it's not copy and paste on everything. How to deal with somebody. I don't like saying the word handle because you shouldn't have to be able to handle somebody. There's no woman that I'm gonna date or that I'm gonna take serious that I'm gonna handle. I'm not gonna handle you. There's my leadership and I lead, but I'm not gonna handle you. I'm not gonna treat you like you're less than. To me, handle is like it's like you're walking on eggshells. You have to treat somebody a certain way just to, nah, man, nah, no. I'm gonna give you the real, and at the end of the day, that person has to understand that it's coming from a great place. If you don't understand that, when you talking to your significant other and you putting them on and it's a back and forth and they don't realize like, yo, I'm speaking from a place that is well. I'm not speaking from a place of feelings. I'm speaking from a place of logic and real truths and facts. Especially in a relationship, you cannot argue feelings to somebody that's speaking facts. It doesn't exist in the same space. It doesn't. So at the end of the day, me personally, to answer my own question, I couldn't build with somebody that not uses their past relationship, but they supersede their experience in their past relationship into the current relationship. Quite a few of y'all agree with me in the chat as well. So I just can't get jiggy with it, me personally. That's just me personally. I couldn't get jiggy with it. Shout out to Biggs in the building. You still got Messiah on your name. Shout out to Biggs. That's my bro Biggs. Appreciate you, brother, for tapping in. You already know, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, my brother. Shout out to Azarim. Appreciate you for tapping in. I watched A Pregnant Woman. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if you're trolling or not, brother, but come on. Hey, Messiah. So, yeah, man. Shout out to... Oh, okay, I shot him out. Shout out to Shakia. It won't work out. I told her, yeah. I thank you for that. Thank you for that, Malu. Thank you for that. Yo, Malu on her, but yo, I love you, Malu. I said it twice already, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love you, Malu. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But yeah, it won't work out. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Because again, I believe each relationship should be different because it is different. You don't treat it necessarily with kid gloves, and you shouldn't have to handle somebody. But at the same time, I'm a big proponent of truth. I'm just going to speak the truth. And if you don't believe that it's coming from a great place, always, even if we have a disagreement, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So, shout out to Turbo. Yeah, man, that's a fact. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Lauryn Hill has announced a new 8-city tour where a portion of the ticket sales will support the storm relief efforts in Jamaica. Again, Lauryn Hill has announced her 8-city tour where a portion of the proceeds of the ticket sales will support the storm relief efforts in Jamaica. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Shakia. I think I'm saying that right. Shakia. Yeah, Shakia. Right now, just wasting your time and energy. That's a fact. I agree with that. Hands down, Shakia. That's a fact. But let me know what y'all think about, again, Lauryn Hill announced her 8-city tour where a portion of her ticket sales will support storm relief efforts in Jamaica. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Johnny in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. But But yeah, me personally, when I hear this, Lauryn Hill, and I want to be clear when I say this, Lauryn Hill is a legend. Lauryn Hill is one of our shining stars, been one of our shining stars. She's in refined air in the artist space. I love this from the aspect that this legend is going to do these shows, and a portion of it will help Jamaica in its relief of their current hurricane or storm, I should say. But at the same time, she has a spotty track record for shows. Lauryn Hill is a talent like no other that people will line up and be proud to spend that money, be proud to spend that ticket, be proud to buy merchandise. But she has a spotty reputation in shows where she's extremely late. I'm not sure if she's missed shows, but she's been recordly late. 2, 3, 4, 5 hours late for shows that people spend that hard-earned money to see. Like we just spoke about, majority of the country live check to check. Majority of the company work 2 jobs just to be broke. So when you buy those Lauryn Hill tickets, you like, yo, I'm spending this money because I'm about to have an experience like no other. I'm going to go to the Lauryn Hill show. He'll hear incredible music, incredible vocals. I'm going to take some pictures. It ain't no way I'm leaving without whipping out my phone and taking some of these pictures and filming her a few times. This is an experience. To ask people to buy tickets based on them being broke and showing up an hour late, let alone 4, 5 hours late, is unacceptable. I don't care what type of artist you are. I don't care if you're Michael Jackson, if you're Whitney Houston, Prince, R. Kelly, any of these top level artists. I don't care. Nobody's worth having to wait 5 hours for them. 5 hours late. Because mind you, when the show starts at 7, they ask you to be there at 5. So imagine being there at 5 or 4:30 because you're trying to get you a good free parking spot. 5:30, you're getting there, you're waiting, and you don't see her until like 2 o'clock. You have a fit. So that messes the experience up, and it makes people not to want to buy tickets further and further. So I love it from the aspect where if she does these shows and they go off without a hitch, where she's on time and people know she's going to rock out, but professionalism matters as an artist, no matter how incredible you are, because it ruins the experience when you're late. So that's the other aspect that I give it cause to pause. And if she's late for the first few shows, that will affect ticket sales for the remaining shows. So the fact that she's doing this sounds good, sounds great. If she's fully committed, this is a no-brainer. Her current track record doesn't look good. So I'm actually pulling for her, but I also want her to be aware of and they said it in the chat, of the nonchalant ways you're going about business and entertaining the people. Because again, nobody asks for a Lauryn Hill show. Nobody asks for that, even though she's uberly outstanding, she's uberly talented. Nobody asks for it. But if there is one, because you are a legend, because you are talented, people will be lined up to give you their money. But you have to be on time. Just that simple. Just that simple. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Talk about Get Back. I didn't even have a chance to report this. Talk about get back. Former head coach Brian Daboll was fired from the New York Giants as the head coach just Monday. The next day, Tuesday, which was yesterday, tonight is Wednesday, y'all. He's the new head coach of the Penn State football team at the University of Penn State. Talk about get back. Shit, talk about a short move. You go from New Jersey to Pennsylvania, which is crazy, and you do it within a day. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Is that a get back or what? Brian Daboll hasn't been a great head coach for the New York Giants. If you look at his record, it's been terrible. It hasn't been, if you watch the games have been respectable, but the roster in itself, it's a better roster than what the record has lent itself, especially this year. I think this year was more so of the injury bug this year. I think they have gotten better from the year prior. They have more talent on that team. Injuries was definitely a factor. But even with all that said, they gave up a game where they was winning, I believe 38 to 9 in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, or 30 to 9 in the fourth quarter. It was something crazy, or 28 to 9. And they end up losing that game to Denver. They had the Bears beat. Going into the fourth quarter, they had them beat. And the Bears came back and won. So, as bad as that looked, he got a job the next day. Now, what has Brian Daboll done to get the head coaching job at Penn State after being terrible with the Giants? Because before that, he was the OC or the quarterback coach for the Buffalo Bills and a couple other teams. Okay, he helped turn the Bills quarterback around, Josh Allen. He made that turn. He developed. He got better. And now Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. That's for sure. Because he has that track record, wouldn't he be a better fit at Penn State as an OC or the quarterback coach? Is he the next Nick Saban? I mean, but to Nick Saban credit, Nick Saban won a national championship. He had coached another team. Then he went to the Dolphins, had his disappointment with the Dolphins, then came back to Alabama. Brian Daboll has never had a track record of being successful as the head coach. So what warranted him getting the position as the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions? And mind you, Penn State is Penn State. Penn State is not Kent State. Penn State is not Temple. Penn State is not even Pitt. No disrespect. Penn State is Penn State. It matters who coaches Penn State. You can't tell the story of college football without Penn State. Too many great players went to Penn State. What has he done to get the job? His track record is ass. And for him to get the job, literally the next day, the man was fired on Monday. Hired Tuesday. And we're talking about it tonight. That's crazy work. So, I say it all the time. Relationships is everything. Talent and what's supposed to be a talent-based business is never talent-based. It's relationships. Because there's no way you're that bad as a head coach in the NFL. You didn't have prior head coaching experience prior to warrant a place like Penn State. Now, if it was somewhere like Temple, no argument for old Ash. If it was somewhere like Pitt, okay, cool. If it was somewhere like Louisville, oh, I see that. West Virginia, cool. Penn State, Nah, no way, no way. Shout out to the chat. Y'all don't forget with the lot. Yeah, that's a fact. I don't know much about sports, so I'll leave that part for those who know. Shout out to Turbo GA. That's a fact. Uh, I missed somebody else's one too. It's kind of had a break in beef industry, so she coming back after she's a victim for the word people paid money. Oh, you talk about Lauryn Hill, so I missed that Lauryn Hill uh, comment. So I go back up to Lauryn Hill real quick. People pay money. Yeah, people paid money. How are you going to be late? I agree with you, Turbo. I agree with you, Turbo. That's a fact. She kind of said, "Yeah, I'm about to take a break because of my beef in the industry. So I'm coming back after." She said, "She's a victim. How does that work?" Uh, I've also heard Lauryn Hill attribute her lateness to being a mom. She's like, "Yo, I'm a mom, so I'm going to be late. Like, my kids need me, and my kids come first." That goes without saying, but that's kind of disrespectful at the same time. You've been hired to do a job. You are elated to do a job. What makes you different than all of our mothers that worked hard all these years? What make you so special? They had to be at work, and they also had to put us first. They had to find a way to put us first as well. What make you so special that you wasn't the only one that had to find balance to that? And if your kids come first, which is respectable and admirable, then you don't need to be putting on shows or put on a free show. Like, yo, I'm doing a free show. I'm supposed to be there at 12. I might pull up at 5, but if I pull up at 5, it's a free show. But you're not talking free show. You're not talking about I might pull up. You saying that you will pull up. You sign on the dotted line and it's being promoted and people are expecting the experience. If you're not going to give the experience, then saying that you're a mom is a half-ass excuse. Because as parents, and there's more than one mom that does it. There's several moms that do that. There's several fathers that put their kids first. But you have to find a balance. So that's also a cop-out, I've heard her say. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Shout out to Alien. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Black Panther. Black Panther 3 is heating up, y'all. Black Panther 3 is heating up. And they're thinking about calling Black Panther 3 Shadows of Wakanda. They're leaning towards that name. But my question is, if they use that name, which sounds great, what will make this movie a success in your eyes for the third installment of Black Panther? Because the second one had a lot of mixed reviews. The first one is a classic. My opinion on it, the first one is a classic. Chadwick Boseman was great as the Black Panther. The story was great. But part 2 was better. It was a better storyline. It necessarily wasn't a better action movie, mainly because they was building up for the new Black Panther. But the storyline, it allows the Black Panther franchise to move on to 2 to even 3 more movies. They could take this to Black Panther 5 based on the storyline that they set for Black Panther 2. So I'm looking extremely forward to Black Panther 3 for sure. But what would make this successful for y'all? Would it be the villain? Would it be the storyline? Like, what would make this successful for y'all? Because again, I enjoyed Black Panther 2. I enjoyed the story of Namor, his powers. I enjoyed the fact that you've seen the embracing of all the tribes finally, because in Black Panther 1, they said, the Jabari tribe would stay in their mountains and they would chill. In Black Panther 2, you saw the Jabari tribe, they was, with their, stuff on, chilling in the heat, you know what I'm saying, in the sun, in the paid in the shade, you know what I'm saying? They was chilling out, lamping out, and it was more we in this together type of vibe instead of the exclusion of it aspect of it. So I really enjoyed that storyline, and I like the fact that they did not recast Chadwick Boseman in the second one. In my opinion, that would have been extremely sloppy. In my opinion, it's too soon, especially how they opened the damn movie. Like I ain't crying nothing like that, but like I would say that the AC was on, and I had some onions near me. Pause. So like a manly thug, like a thug tear could have dropped. I'm not sure. But there's no way you get through that opening scene in Black Panther 2 and wasn't like, damn, this hurt. Like it felt like a body drop for real. Like, I mean, he's going for real, but it felt heavy. It was a heavy sequence to get through. So that storyline in itself, I mean, damn, it don't get no better than that. But of course, the fighting in the first one was just, second to none. So, shout out to Matt in the building. Appreciate you tapping and hit them likes at the 100s. Yeah, you know. I love Malu, yo. She not having it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shout out to yeah, I'm not even gonna show you no love because he's a weirdo. Shout out to KC for life. Appreciate you tapping in. What about them cheese, boy? You already know. You see the hat in the background. You see what type of time I'm on. You see it, brother. Chiefs all day. Oh wow. Yeah, so me personally in the chat, y'all saying the storyline will make this movie successful. I agree. I agree. I think the storyline has to be amazing. Um, but I have to say the villain has to be great too. And it has to be great fighting scenes. And I think it will be beneficial if they aged it up so that way the new Black Panther is available for the third one, which would make sense. The second one, too soon. Third one would be perfect because they could age it up. This young man could be the next Black Panther, possibly the new king, and the storyline in itself would make sense. So I'm looking forward to seeing Black Panther 3. And again, they may call it the Shadows. No, they may call it, what am I looking at? Okay, the Shadows of Wakanda. They may call it that. But yes. Okay. What's up, bro? What's up, man? How you doing, Kick? Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you. I see you, brother. Blessings. You already know KC, man. Yeah, come on, man. It's KC all day, man. We Title Town, baby. Title Town. I tell people all the time, we Title Town. Don't pin us out or nothing. We look sloppy as hell though, but week by week we gonna get better and better. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. UPS worker was found unalive, stuck in the mail sorting machine for 8 hours before found. 36-year-old man in Oakwood obviously passed away. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat, man. That's looking at this, it was just, man, can you imagine working in the mailroom or working for UPS and you on that sort and something happens and nobody's around? I mean, when I was a very young adult, I had mail jobs, before I got into the music business and things of that nature. And on that sort, it's a lonely feel, especially when everybody leaves. Once everybody gone, you out there dolo, which is crazy and it's against company policy. I might add, it's a scary thing. So the fact that this young man went through a situation, was stuck, and had no type of help, no type of relief. Mind you, there's cameras all over the place, but what's the purpose of having cameras if nobody's there to help you? So I mean, it's sad. My condolences to his family. They still haven't released the name of this young man. Is because they still notifying family members. Um, and it's unfortunate that this happened. A shout out to Patrick Torres. What do you think of my Giants firing Dayball? I think he needed to go. Yeah, I just spoke about Dayball. I thought it was crazy that he got fired Monday and got a new job on Tuesday, and probably it's not a bet. I mean, being the head coach for the New York Giants is more important than Penn State. But Penn State is a high-profile job as a football player. Uh, I think he needed to go. I think he needed to go. His record sucked. His record sucked. His record sucked. He didn't make any adjustments that made me believe once the team is fully healthy and functional, that y'all are going to be a force to be reckoned with. The way how I looked at the team, even though the Giants is very improved in the talent aspect, y'all just going to be really good to lose. So if I'm the GM, I'm firing Dayball myself. If I'm the GM, I'm actually thinking about adding an extra podcast called and having it like GM based. So, but yeah, so if I'm the GM, I'm definitely firing him. Definitely. Who I would replace him with? I mean, there's some teams that have some great assistants that's doing some wonderful work. I like what the quarterback coach in San Francisco has done with Mac Jones. Maybe I would elevate him to my offensive coordinator. I've heard them speak about Spagnuolo. I'm not going with Spagnuolo. Let him, stay with us with the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that for because I want to keep Spagnuolo as my DC. But yeah, like not any, but OC that's really been on their job, been creative. I would make my front runner as the Giants' new head coach. But definitely that quarterback coach from San Fran, I'm definitely making him my offensive coordinator. That's for sure. Erase that one. Yeah, so. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A quick shout out to Cayenne Anthony, son of Carmelo Anthony, NBA legend, NBA great, Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony. His son Cayenne is at the University of Syracuse, and the young man is cooking. He's up there cooking. Absolute bucket off the bench. And he won't be coming off the bench for too much sooner. I mean, you can't have a guy like that come off your bench. He's literally a ball of energy off the bench, but the team looks and feels different when he's on the court. And he's not just a bucket. He's also somebody that sees the floor well and will make the willing pass, but he knows how to move with and without the ball. Young man is cooking. I mean, he had 19 off the bench. Having 19 points off the bench in college, that's a big deal. So shout out to Cayenne Anthony. Keep cooking. Keep putting that pressure. Keep putting that pain. And keep making yourself proud and your family proud. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. My pick six is in. College football pick six is in. NFL, my pick six is in. My pick six is in. For college football, my pick six for week 12, first game I'm calling Clemson versus number 19 Louisville. I got Louisville to win this game. Louisville looks really good. Would I be surprised if Clemson upset them? I wouldn't. But Louisville looks really good, so I'm going with Louisville for the win. Next game I'm calling, number 25 South Florida versus Navy. This is upset alert. Navy plays South Florida very tough, no matter how good South Florida is. but I'm going with South Florida for the win. Next game I'm calling number 9 Notre Dame versus number 23 Pitt. This will be a good game. Pitt will probably play his best football in the first 3 quarters. But I do have Notre Dame to win this game. I'm kind of reluctant on picking Notre Dame because the last time I picked Notre Dame, they took the L burger. Matter of fact, the last 2 times I picked Notre Dame, they took the L burger. So no, the one time I took them, they took the L burger. So I got Notre Dame to win this game. Next game I'm calling 18 Michigan, my Michigan Wolverines versus Northwestern. I got my Michigan Wolverines winning this game. We're just a better team on both sides of the ball. And this game right here will probably end up about 35 to, I'll say 21. So next game, number 11 Oklahoma versus number 4 Alabama. I got Alabama winning this game. Oklahoma has been up and down all year round. Alabama has looked really good. And that boy Williams, he's looking better and better. He started off the year rough, and now he's looking somewhat of his old self. And if you get him going, it's scary hours in Alabama. Last game I'm calling for my pick 6 college football. Number 10, Texas versus number 5, Georgia. Texas has looked really good in these past 4 weeks. But I'm going with Georgia for the win. This game will be close. This game will be somewhere 27 to 24. 27 to 24. I'm going with Georgia for the win. So that's my pick 6 for college football. My pick 6 for the NFL for week 11. I'm calling Jets versus Patriots. I got the Patriots winning that game. The Jets is terrible. They're terrible. Patriots is going to win this game. Next game I'm calling Titans versus Texans. Titans is going to play the Texans tough. I would not be surprised if the Titans upset the Texans this week. But I'm going with the Texans. Texans have something to play for. So the Texans should win this game. Next game I'm calling Bucks versus the Bills. I got the Bills winning this game. The Bills haven't looked impressive in the last few weeks, and the Bucks have looked good. But I'm going with the Bills in this game. The Bills normally win games of this magnitude. They just can't beat us for real in the playoffs. They beat us the other week, but they're not going to beat us in the playoffs. But I got the Bills beating the Bucks. Next game I'm calling the 49ers versus the Cardinals. I have the 49ers winning this game. Cardinals they came out this past week and basically saying they're moving off of Kyler Murray, which they should. He's been very inconsistent. He hasn't been the leader that organization needs him to be. I think Arizona's going to play well, but I do think they lose this game. 49ers have played very well. Last week, they played a Rams team that was just on top of their game. 49ers could have came back, to be honest with you. But the Rams was just, their chemistry is just better right now. But I do have the 49ers beating the Arizona Cardinals. Next game I'm calling my Chiefs versus the Broncos. Man, the Broncos have been the class of the division this year so far. But we're going to beat the Broncos. So we're going to beat them. And we probably, I don't want to say we're going to beat the brakes off the Broncos, but we're going to beat them very convincingly. Bro. I got my Chiefs beating the Broncos. Last game I'm calling for my pick 6 NFL. I have the Lions versus the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles to win this game. I think this game will be close. If any team can beat the Eagles, it is the Lions. But I think the Eagles will play well. Golf, when he's on, he's on. And when he's not, he's not. And this is the type of game he will struggle, mainly because that Eagle front four is very solid. They get pressure on you. And I think he will throw a pick or two this week, and Eagles will win this game. So that's my pick 6 for both NFL and college football. So the rehash for college football, my pick 6, at Louisville beating Clemson, South Florida beating Navy, Notre Dame beating Pitt, Michigan beating Northwestern, Alabama beating Oklahoma, Georgia beating Texas. And for the NFL, I have the Patriots beating the Jets, Texans beating the Titans, Bills beating the Bucks, 49ers beating the Cardinals, Chiefs beating the Broncos, and the Eagles beating the Lions. So that's my pick six for both NFL and college football. Again, if you're trying to get you a nice parlay, money line, or you're just looking for a little action, I got some good picks, man. Last week I went 5-1 for college football. In the NFL, I went 3-3. It was some teams that lost last week that had no business losing, but that's why the game is played and not just said. Shout out, who's that? Oh, shout out to Randy. Appreciate Randy in the building, man. One of our badge holders, man. Appreciate that. All hell them Chiefs, man. You already know Randy in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Shout out to Alex in the building. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. This is episode 211. It's a lot of episodes. Not a lot of podcasts can say they got that many episodes. So again, it helps with the growth of the show. Don't forget, yeah. See, Malu got me. Shout out to Peak in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in again. Show that love. Shout out to Raleigh in the building. All right, y'all. Moving on to my next segment. I'll keep the lie live segment. My keep the lie live for this episode is this: music dictates culture. Music dictates culture. Why is that important? I've been hearing all through the social media space that music is no longer the same. Why is music not emphasizing love? Music is not emphasizing love because the culture dictates music. Whatever era that we live in, the artist makes music reflective on the culture. In the 50s and 60s and 70s, you heard a lot of music that had social commentary in the music because that was reflective of the times. In the 80s, people was boogieing. Well, in the late 70s to the 80s, people was boogieing, getting it popping. So you had disco and a different type of pop R&B type of style in that area because people wanted to dance and have a good time. Now when we get to the 90s, you get that thug R&B. People wanted to gangsta boogie. We get to 2000 and 2010, it takes on a more negative tone where it's more death culture. Nobody's singing about love. Most men in this world don't feel the love from most women. So you're not going to hear men like how you heard in the 90s begging like Keith Sweat or saying how much they love a woman like Joe and Case and Genuine, right? You're not going to hear that. You're hearing a more gangster version of what R. Kelly used to do, because R. Kelly, he had a balance. He had baby, 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 please. He had baby, come get this thing. He had baby, I'm a boss. And then baby, I'm a thug. But people took the darker tone of that format and made it into something different. R. Kelly even got a song where he like, he's arguing the whole record, which is a fire record, by the way. But music has always been dictated by culture. So the point is, if y'all want love in the music, then it has to be love in real life. You know how hard it is as an artist to release music, whether you're rapping or singing, and it's not indicative of the culture? Like, how do that work? How can you sing about love when the people around you don't show love, but secretly they want to hear it? Where they do that at? It ain't never worked that way. So my thing is this: if that's what y'all want to hear, then show it. That goes for both men and women. But more so women, because y'all don't realize y'all dictate love. Y'all dictate chivalry based on what you present. If you present that, we will show that. If you're soft, we're not necessarily going to be soft, but we're going to find a place where we can be vulnerable and share our true emotions. Just like how they did in the 80s and 90s and before that. It wasn't to say that they didn't have tough dudes back then. It was tough dudes too. but there was a space where they could land and keep it real. And where they kept it real at, it wasn't used against them. It wasn't weaponized when you weaponize a man's emotions. So if you don't want the music, if you want the music to sound a certain way and have a certain feel to it, then it has to be represented in real life. Because the music is a representation of what we have. So that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been super amazing, super engaging in the chat. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. What's interesting though, and I'm still having this issue with YouTube. YouTube never show my true numbers until I go off. It's way more people in the chat, and there's a lot of people showing that love in the chat as well. So I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. This is the 211th episode. That's a lot of episodes. A lot of shows don't have that many episodes. Podcasts don't have that many episodes. So again, I thank y'all again for supporting the pod. I appreciate that hands down. Shout out to the sponsors of the show, Bunt and Snaps and OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Also, shout out to sorry, I had a quick notification. Again, shout out to my special mod of the night, Malu, for holding it down. One of our day ones, always showing that love to the chat, always showing that love to the show and her support for me. Thank you. You've been amazing for holding it down as always. And again, I appreciate your just what you did for the show. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Means a lot. Genuinely, thank you. Also, shout out to the chat in itself. Y'all was showing major love. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. You don't understand. It helps with the growth of the show to the next level. And again, I have such a passion for podcasting. I just really want to continue to give y'all this good energy and information. Also, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11, so continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week, so you just never know. Also, take advantage of the membership portion. Different memberships do get granted different access, so make sure y'all take advantage of that as well. I have some new music I'm working on right now. It's fire. It will actually be out. I'm just wanting to get it to y'all in a different way. I don't like the space that the music business is in right now because of the new updates with Spotify and all these other music platforms that doesn't allow artists to benefit from our music that we put our blood, sweat, and tears in. But I will get y'all this work. I got some fire music, and if you haven't heard any of my music yet, type in Ashley Lovechild on any music platform that I have up there already. Take a listen to. It's fire, so make sure y'all tap in. Also, the new comics, still working on that. I want that to be perfect for y'all before I release it, so still working on that. And got some new announcements for the Sunday episode. Again, if this is your first time tapping in, I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. We're on every Wednesday, every Sunday. Every Wednesday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all don't know how much this means to me. Shout out to Shakia as well. That's a fact. The music industry don't want loving music. I love that. I love that. That is a fact. That is a fact. I hit the like button. Appreciate you, Turbo, for that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes. But Shakia, yes, that's a fact. The music industry don't want loving music. That's a fact. That's a fact. Love in our music produce babies. It produce more love. If you ever took a stroll down 90s music, if you get you a 90s playlist full of R&B and you hear that music today, it hits different. It hits different. That's a fact. They don't want love in the music. They don't want love in the music. That's a fact. And I'm working with a new group that got some love in the music, but they afraid to release the music because there ain't no love in the world. You know what I mean? But and they sung the hell out of these songs. It's songs that I wrote, but they sung the hell out of these songs, and you know, that's also going to be, you know, perfect timing as well too. So, but there's a lot of work that we have that I don't like saving the music. I like getting it out to the people, and again, the way that how they have it set up for us is it's 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 crazy. It's, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, but we're gonna get this to y'all. Again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Again, if y'all want to pull up on Instagram, I'm also on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. On again every Sunday, every Wednesday, 10:30. Again, shout out to Malu for holding it down, for being a mod. Um, any of my day ones that always been consistent in showing love. You know, sometimes I do need help having some of these fools up out of here. So, Ashley, tell them to hit them up. Ashley, tell them to hit them up. That's a fact. That's a fact. So make sure y'all tap in again to the different pages. And again, I'm gonna see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. Y'all stay safe, stay dangerous, and y'all already know it's love. I'm gonna see y'all next time at 10:30. We out.